I'm Sandra Ireton. I live and work in Chapel-le-Dale, that's where we are today. This is part of one of the environmental schemes that we are currently running here on the farm. This land was originally purchased by my husband. We've been married 32 years now, and we actually built our own house upon the land 31 years ago. So I've lived here for 31 years. But originally I came from Houghton and Ribblesdale, which is closer to Pennygent, as we're closer to Ingleton here. I've been in farming all my life. My father was a farmer. I took on the family tradition and started farming alongside my husband, who is a butcher. I had a period of time where I went off into lecturing. So I've lectured in agriculture and also in equine studies, both in the south and here in the north, most recently at Newtonbury College. So we're in the middle now of a huge transformation in the agricultural business. Obviously, agriculture has traditionally been the backbone of British enterprise. But now we find that governmental policies are encouraging us to move into a more environmental conservationist sphere. I firmly believe that every farm in this area has the opportunity, as we've done here, to utilise previously underutilised areas which don't have much use as grazing land, to bring together environmentally beneficial areas for the habitat that we dearly love and enjoy to live in. This area here, where we've created woodland, on the left hand side we have a boil hole which is called Midge Hole. We have underlying geology here where it's on an underground lake. So at the moment we're in a dry riverbed. When we have heavy rainfall, the Midge Hole will boil and the river goes into full flood. So for livestock, historically we've lost livestock in the floods. So it makes good sense to use this area as part of a conservation project. And in doing that, we also link up some ancient woodland at the top with newly planted woodland at the bottom. And as we go further out into the fields, which hopefully we'll look at, we would like to create some wildlife corridors that then link with other areas of woodland, thus creating a habitat for all the indigenous species that we have in this area. The process behind planting the woodland here is putting out feelers in the local area as to what other people have done and which organisations worked well with the local landowners. And the top one that came to the surface was the Yorkshire Dales Millennium Trust. They have people that come out and actually sit and listen to us and work well with the local population towards creating something which is beneficial for all. We as farmers live and work in this beautiful area, and we would like to continue to do so for generations to come. But we are fully aware that we need to incorporate within our business the environmental and ecological changes that are necessary to combat the problems that the world is having at the moment with climate change, etc. One of the things that came to the fore for me personally was the fact that it was being supported by Carrs Billington, which are an agricultural specialist, and we have a depot in Hawes where we regularly go to collect our feed, and we've got David and Nigel, Mary and Bomber, who are always on hand to help. So it's created a really good circle in that they're the agricultural suppliers that we use, and they're putting some of their money back into creating these wonderful woodland spaces all within the same area.
My name is Brian Moorhouse. I farm at Hesper Farm at Belbusk, and we're a dairy farm predominantly, and all grassland. Well, we've been here since 1971, or in 1970 we came here initially as tenants on the Gargrave House estate. I farmed with my father until 1990. When he retired from the business, and I took it over officially then. Just prior to that we'd bought the farm from the estate, so now we own it, or we're in the process of owning it, and we've always had a pedigree herd. We've started that off in Glusburn in the Aire Valley, and the herd is called the Airburn herd, combining the two things, and now we farm, the River Aire flows through our land, so it's quite fitting still, and that's been our main focus, developing the Airburn herd over the years, and growing the size of it, and to the current size now. It's we have 200 cows, 117 milk at any one time, sometimes a bit more, and we sell surplus stock, and that's basically what we do. We have 2 plantations on the farm. They were really put down when it was an estate farm for game, for shooting purposes, but they're not used for that now. But so that we have 2 biggish blocks that are plantations, and then after that we have just normal trees round field boundaries and that sort of thing. Initially it was speaking to Jim McRobert, who works for Carrs Billington, and he was keen for us to do it or try it, and at first I didn't think really it was for us, but when he explained that you can use bits of land that aren't productive or aren't easily accessible, well, we thought, yeah, well, we did see an area that we could do it, and as it turned out, it did sort of join up, parts of the farm to where trees were already growing, and not far from that, say, that plantation we have there, and it sort of joins it together, and I think in the years to come it will be a good place for wildlife to thrive.